In a lush, remote Nigerian village, whispers surround a woman named Adana. Renowned not only for her stunning beauty but for her kind heart and graceful presence. Adana is admired by everyone, from the children who look up to her as a role model, to the women who envy and respect her, and the men who are enchanted by her charm. Her beauty is not just skin deep, it is almost ethereal, as if she's ageless. But Adana hides a secret. Late at night, she ventures into the depths of the forest, gathering rare herbs and plants, known only to the ancient herbalists. These herbs, carefully selected and blended, hold the secrets of youth, a knowledge passed down through her family for generations. With her herbal concoctions, Adana maintains her flawless skin, her shining hair, and the glow that captivates everyone. One night, a curious young girl, Amaka, spots Adana slipping into the forest under the cover of darkness. Driven by curiosity, Amaka decides to follow her, determined to uncover the mystery behind Adana's beauty. She watches from a distance as Adana picks strange, glowing herbs and performs an ancient ritual, whispering incantations in a language Amaka has never heard. The following morning, rumors start to circulate. Amaka, unable to keep what she saw to herself, confides in her friend, Kine, about Adana's midnight ritual. Word spreads quickly, and soon the village is abuzz with talk of magic and forbidden practices. Adana feels the weight of suspicious stares and wary whispers, yet she remains calm, certain that her secret is still safe. Amaka begins to feel strange symptoms, weakness, sudden chills, and an eerie sensation as if someone is watching her. She dismisses it as fatigue, but an unsettling feeling lingers, as if something dark has taken notice of her intrusion. The mysterious illness plaguing Amaka worsens. She suffers from feverish dreams filled with haunting visions of twisted trees and shadowy figures. Her once lively spirit dims, and worry spreads among her family and friends. The villagers begin to whisper that Amaka might have angered something, or someone, powerful. Some suggest it's the result of her sneaking into forbidden places and witnessing things meant to remain hidden. Meanwhile, Adana senses the rising tension in the village. She notices the stares and hears the murmurs behind her back. People are beginning to avoid her, and some of her closest friends now look at her with suspicion. Adana realizes she may need to take drastic measures to protect her secret. One evening, as Amaka lies in bed, drifting between fevered dreams and restless sleep, she sees a shadowy figure standing in her room. The figure, though indistinct, carries a familiar presence. It whispers in her ear, promising her beauty, power, and admiration, if only she keeps Adana's secret. Terrified, Amaka tries to scream, but no sound escapes her lips. The shadow fades, leaving behind a single flower on her bed, a flower only found deep within the forbidden forest. The next morning, Adana pays a visit to Amaka's family, bringing a basket of healing herbs and a sympathetic smile. She expresses concern for Amaka's health and offers a special herbal remedy, claiming it will help soothe her illness. Amaka's mother, desperate to save her daughter, accepts gratefully, though an unease lingers. As Adana mixes the herbs for Amaka, she carefully adds a strange powder, murmuring softly under her breath. Amaka drinks the mixture, and as it soothes her, a glaze appears over her eyes. She seems calmer, but there's an unnatural stillness in her gaze, as if her will has been subdued. The villagers take notice of Amaka's sudden recovery, and some begin to believe in Adana's miraculous healing powers. This only deepens the divide in the village, with some praising Adana for her wisdom and others growing increasingly wary of her mysterious methods. As the episode closes, Amaka, under Adana's spell, begins spreading stories of Adana's kindness, devotion, and natural gifts. Yet, as she speaks, her voice sounds distant, as if someone else is speaking through her. Meanwhile, Adana retreats to her home, feeling secure once more. She gazes into a mirror, satisfied with her reflection but sensing a deeper hunger for control over those around her. She whispers to herself, "I will keep this beauty, whatever the cost." Adana's influence over Amaka grows stronger each day.
Amaka, once a lively and curious girl, now speaks in a strangely subdued tone, always praising Adana's beauty and wisdom. The villagers notice her unusual behavior, but they are captivated by her stories of Adana's kindness, which begin to sway even the most skeptical hearts. Meanwhile, Adana continues her nightly visits to the forest, gathering rarer and more potent herbs. But each time she performs the ritual, she feels a slight weariness creeping into her bones. She brushes it off, believing it to be the cost of maintaining such beauty. Yet each night her reflection seems a little less vibrant, her eyes a little darker. Driven by her desire to stay beautiful and loved, she increases the strength of her herbal mixtures. One evening, Adana encounters Elder Nneka, a respected herbalist and healer who knows of the ancient practices Adana uses but refuses to dabble in them. Suspicious of Adana's nightly rituals and her influence over Amaka, Elder Nneka confronts her gently, asking about her recent actions. Adana brushes off the elder's questions, but Elder Nneka warns her about the dangers of meddling with forces that require a price that often grows over time. Determined to protect her beauty at all costs, Adana dismisses Elder Nneka's warnings, convinced she can handle whatever consequences may come. But as she leaves the elder's home, she feels an icy chill, as if someone or something is watching her closely. She turns, catching a glimpse of a shadow lingering just beyond her line of sight. That night, as Adana performs her beauty ritual, her mirror cracks unexpectedly. She stares at the fractured reflection, startled but unafraid. "It's only a mirror," she murmurs, but her hands tremble slightly. She completes the ritual and heads to bed, only to be haunted by strange dreams, visions of her reflection aging rapidly, her skin wrinkling and her hair turning white. When she wakes, her face is flawless, but a gnawing fear has settled in her heart. The next day, Amaka's mother visits Elder Nneka, explaining her daughter's strange behavior and her obsession with praising Adana. Elder Nneka listens intently and realizes that Amaka may be under a spell of control, her mind influenced by the same dark magic Adana uses to preserve her youth. Concerned for the young girl's soul, Elder Nneka decides to take action.
Elder Nneka secretly gathers a few villagers who share her suspicions about Adana. Together, they agree to keep watch over her movements and seek out a way to break whatever dark hold she has on Amaka. Meanwhile, Adana's power and beauty seem to grow more luminous, but so does the darkness lurking in her shadow. Adana's beauty reaches new heights, captivating even the most skeptical villagers. Yet behind her radiant smile lies a gnawing fear. The visions from her dreams grow darker, showing her frail and aging rapidly, her beauty slipping away. Each morning, she wakes up flawless, but she knows something is changing within her. Meanwhile, Elder Nneka's group secretly watches Adana, growing increasingly wary of her influence. They notice that Amaka seems to act more like Adana's shadow, always lingering nearby, speaking her praises with a strange, hollow look in her eyes. Rumors spread through the village about Adana's power and the control she has over Amaka, stirring both fear and fascination. One evening, Elder Nneka and her group decide to follow Adana on one of her nightly trips to the forest. They hide in the dense shadows as she gathers her herbs, murmuring incantations and mixing powders with an intensity that chills the onlookers. Suddenly, a dark figure appears behind her, a shadowy presence with piercing red eyes. The figure whispers words in a language the villagers cannot understand, and Adana responds with reverence, as though in a trance.
Elder Nneka recognizes the figure as a spirit of vanity, a being known to grant beauty but at a steep price. Horrified, she realizes that Adana has gone beyond herbal knowledge and has invoked a spirit, binding herself to a dark force that could consume her. Back in the village, Amaka's strange behavior escalates. She begins sleepwalking at night, her eyes glazed and her voice murmuring words in the same ancient language Adana uses in her rituals. Her family grows desperate and pleads with Elder Nneka to save her. Elder Nneka believes that Amaka's spirit is trapped under Adana's spell, controlled by the spirit of vanity that Adana has summoned. That night, Elder Nneka gathers the villagers for a secret meeting, urging them to resist Adana's influence and warning them about the dangers of her beauty. She speaks of the spirit of vanity and the price it demands, explaining that Adana may no longer have control over her own fate. Though some are hesitant, fearing the consequences of going against someone so beloved, others grow determined to confront Adana and free Amaka from her hold. Adana sits alone in her room, staring into her mirror with a haunted look. The mirror's surface begins to ripple, and her reflection twists and ages, revealing a wrinkled, hollow-eyed version of herself. The spirit's voice echoes around her, whispering, "The price must be paid." Her hands tremble, and for the first time she wonders if she has made a terrible mistake. Adana's nights become plagued by restless visions. Each time she looks into her mirror, she sees a reflection of herself as she would be without her spells and rituals, older, frailer, and void of beauty. The spirit's whispers grow louder, reminding her that her beauty is borrowed and the time to repay has come. Desperate, Adana returns to the forest to perform more powerful ritual, hoping to appease the spirit. She mixes the strongest herbs she can find and chants with fervor, pleading for her beauty to remain untouched. But as she chants, the spirit of vanity appears, a shadowy figure with gleaming eyes, towering over her. It warns Adana that beauty is fleeting and that her time to hold on to it has run out. The spirit demands a final, horrifying payment. If Adana wishes to remain beautiful, she must sacrifice the youth of another. Realizing what this means, Adana hesitates. The spirit names Amaka as the perfect offering, due to the young girl's pure and unspoiled spirit. In horror, Adana understands that by continuing to control Amaka, she has already been slowly draining her youth and vitality. Now the spirit insists she must take Amaka's youth completely or face a painful end to her beauty. Conflicted and terrified, Adana returns to the village, where the uneasy silence around her has thickened. Many villagers now avoid her, and those once loyal to her praise her beauty with a forced admiration that feels like a charade.